oh my God, I can get pregnant. I'm shocked. Most of the times we know these things. We, we know if you want to lose weight, most of the time you might have to exercise and eat.
Self-improvement is something that we always need to strive for because regardless of where we are, we can be better, right? Um, I I constantly evaluate where I am emotionally, where I am mentally. And I used to didn't do this. Men, we suppress our emotions, we suppress the way that we feel, we suppress a lot. And sometimes it happens subconsciously. Women, it doesn't just happen because we want to be suppressive, right? We sometimes just can't find the words to express how we feel. And think about it. When somebody asks you how you feel, you have so many choices, good, bad, but you don't have the descriptions to really tell. So too in business. Sometimes the business may not be doing well, and it may be because of you. It's not the people are
Yeah.
not purchasing. It's not because we lose our fastball. We probably made a lot of money in the last quarter, and we got lazy on our marketing. We probably don't invest enough in marketing. So self evaluation is not just about self evaluation. It's about survival. There's people who have the same job and does the same thing for 20, 30 years. That timeline is over. My grandfather worked at the same plant, his first job in New York City. He worked there for 35 years. And every time I went to his house, he said, I was never late, never missed a day. They gave him a watch. He closed the plant down. The plant, he was the last one to walk out the building. And he held that with pride, where now people are constantly changing positions, cities, states. Before a person was a staple in their community. They didn't want to leave, but now people don't give a damn. They just get up and go because they evaluate this is not working for me. I'm going over here. They offer me $1 more for bringing, I guess. My son is finding his way in life, 22 years old. He had a job right up the block. They told him it was part time, but they was giving him full time hours. He got another job offer that you have to Uber to, and they offered him $2 more. He's like, "Oh, they're paying me more." I'm like,
All right, well, you got an Uber.
"Don't leave that job. It's right around the corner." He leaves a job that's right around the corner and goes to the one that's farther away because they offered him $2 more, and it didn't work out. Sometimes when we are looking through the lens of youth or immaturity, we make bad decisions in business and life and just everything that we can do. But that doesn't have to be the case. Today's guest, we're going to talk about how we can make better choices. My name is NaRon Tillman, host of this particular podcast and many others, Walk in Victory. We sit you at the feet of the masters and we have conversations to help you evolve your life, personal, business, or whatever. Today we have Miss Francois, and we're gonna talk. See, I got it. We're gonna talk about self-improvement, and she's gonna give you some tips, tricks, and things that you need to apply in your life today. How are you doing,
I
man?
am wonderfully well, sir.
Thank you so much for joining us. So when we talk about self-improvement, how did you become so good at evaluating and helping others?
Oh my God. I like when people start like that. First of all, I fell down, I scratched my knee, I broke a leg. I had stiff neck. Like, it's a lot of experience. I value school, I value education, but I think nothing in life more than experience and actually going through these things help you, hopefully, because I always say hopefully, because there's some people that do the same thing over and over. People call it insanity, I just call it stupidity, right? But people like to put nice words to make people feel better. I'm not about that, right? The truth is the truth for me, and it's honestly about experience. After a while, if you decide to ride a bike and you kept falling off, So at some point, is either going to stop riding the bike, or you know what? I'm going to need a helmet. I'm going to need some knee pads, some elbow part, and then until you learn to ride that bike. And to me, that's what a lot of people have to go on. Like in the beginning, you said about kids today. I mean, generation after generation always look back at the last generation and say, "Oh my God, they had it good and they doing this." So to me, it's sort of a cycle without us realizing it's a cycle, because we're always saying stuff. Think about when you were younger and your parents was like, "You doing this," so forth and so on, right? It's a cycle. I think we just have to adjust as time pass, as technology increases. When you only had a radio was one thing. When you only had horses to get mail was one thing. So now we have computer, now we have AI. Instead of complaining, we have to do some adjusting. It's not always easy, but this is like just like motivation. Everything just lasts for a certain period of time. You have to actually be intentional about some things you decide. If that is goals, even when you decide on your goals, sometimes you have to learn how to pivot. So to me, it's always changing, it's always learning. Get some, for me personally, is definitely getting some mentors and coaching, right? Because and in the beginning, I think a lot of people like to jump in stuff too quickly. Example, you decide you want to lose weight. All of a sudden you get up, you had this epiphany, you clean out your whole entire refrigerator, you join that gym, and for that first week, especially when it's the beginning of the year, we all gun ho. You're gonna do it. You're hype. You're telling everybody. And I'm big on. I read a lot. So think and go rich. Show people what you're gonna do. Don't tell them. Like don't tell anyone. Just show them. Let it show up in your life. Let them say you're losing weight. But when we jump in because we're gun ho all of a sudden because we had an epiphany, most of the time you fail. Failing is not bad. But hopefully you learn from that failure. Most of us don't. That's the secret. Most of us don't. Right? It always takes, think about it in life, and look at people outside of yourself. Most of the time, your daughter have to get pregnant for her to all of a sudden realize, oh my God, having sex with random people unprotected. Oh my God, I can get pregnant. I'm shocked. Most of the times we know these things. We we know if you want to lose weight, most of the time you might have to exercise and eat right. Really? I am shocked. No, we know there's a lot of things that we can use, but guess what? A year after using Ozempic or some drug, you find out, oh my God, I can lose a kidney. I'm shocked. We know. We know the simple things in life, what we need to do and put into place. But for most of us, since we're getting lazier, it's too much work. It's too hard. So we look for the easy route. And a lot of times, everything in life have consequences. I always tell my friends who are cheating on their mate, you know who you are right now. Once you know the consequences before you even do it, and you're okay with those consequences, then by all means, go ahead and do it. But when things blow out of proportion, remember you were okay with the consequences. But I think the main part is just starting small. And you could have that vision, you could have that goal all the way 2 miles away, but start with what you have today. And I think that everyone wants to get there too quickly. How much time they say enjoy the journey? Nobody wants to enjoy the journey. And then every day becomes yesterday and they shocked that they're 60 years old now. Damn, I'm intelligent. How did I get this intelligent? Experience.
So, but you turned it into a business. You turned your experiences into a thing where you're helping other people, where you're educating women, where you're empowering people, and you do it with such energy, right? When did you know that you could actually use your life journey to empower others, and not just that, but to turn it into a business?
I would say in the beginning, I did not know myself. Like one of the first things I
Mm,
did was started a TV show, and that stemmed from you heard about Toastmasters? Toastmasters, the organization, it has to do with speaking and leadership skills. So again, it starts where you are. That's some organization I wanted to develop myself, be able to speak better, have leadership skills. And it stemmed from me winning a competition for humorous speech. And I took that speech and I was able to make it a TV show. But at the time of the TV show, which is called a Miss Francois show, where I use humor to help others deal with dysfunctional relationships, I was using it as a way for me to heal in my own particular life. And because me didn't care about nobody else, I was not interested about anybody but myself. I was learning to heal. And on the 1 year anniversary, someone told me, they're like, how do you feel like you're empowering, inspiring other women? I'm like, what? I'm like, I don't care. I got my own issues. Right? But sometimes we're doing things, and it could be good or bad, that you don't know you're actually helping others. And I think that was the first time that I realized that my experience, even though I was using it as my healing, I was truly helping others to see things in a different way. And a lot of times, my main way of helping other people is humor, is by laughter. Yes, we are allowed to feel sad, feel depressed. It's part of life. It's called we're human, but we don't have to stay down forever. And my experience in with men and relationships and trying to find myself in someone else and hoping I could find love outside of myself, after a while I was doing the same thing over and over, getting the same result. So, me starting that TV show, looking to help myself, I ended up empowering other people, and then it started to stem from there. Whatever it was there, I took it to the next level.
The confidence of being able to just have content and put it out there to the world, even though you was doing it for yourself, it's still being judged by others. Before we talk about how and your secret sauce, but how did that happen? Like you weren't. What gave you the ability not to be afraid of being judged, especially if you haven't?
I was scared out my mind every 2 seconds. That's why I'm like, I'm not here to sugar. Oh, well, I'm confident and I read that book. Dude, there were times I wanted to pee myself. Sometimes I remember looking at a show and I'm like, Lord God, that's what I said. And then there were times I'm like, so when I had it on social media, I'm like, if someone say this, what would I respond? Like I was always planning ahead. I was scared out my mind. What are you talking about? You think? I think with progression, you know how they say fake it till you make it?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
that's the dumbest shit you could ever do. So it's face it till you ace it. You keep doing it over and over. And that stuff you were scared about a year ago, when you look back, it's so much easier and it flows so much better, but you have to keep putting yourself in rooms. You got to keep practicing, you got to keep reading, you got to keep doing it. And that's where the confidence starts to get better. And when you say confident, it's many different things that makes up that, but for me the number one thing is putting yourself, whatever it is that you're scared of, again, start small and keep doing it over and over. You're going to look back 2 years from now and be like, who the hell was that? I like the person I am now. And think about it, whoever you are now, you know how much further you can go. But yeah, it was just me doing it over and over. And that confidence slowly crept in. Now you can't even talk to me. I'm a supermodel. Ain't nobody pretty, ain't nobody more intelligent. I'm all I can be. I'm the only one in a race with myself.
All right, so we got you're funny. Um, Pricing, because it's always difficult. Now you're going out. How did you come up with the model? Like, did you have a coach? I know we talked about coaching, but did you have a coach to help you to say, all right, this is where you should be looking at? Because sometimes we undersell ourselves, and then sometimes we're too high and we oversell.
So first thing is still do your research. Now they have it easy. Now you all could chat GPT. Okay, I've been doing this a while. So I didn't have no damn chat GPT. Right? Coaching helps, but coaching, according to the level, starts costing money. And if you ain't got no money, that's not your lane right now, people. Right? But for me, think about it. It have so many free courses. You see those 5 days and 3 days? Yes, they're gonna want to sell you up something. No one tell you to buy nothing yet, but get also a lot of information can help you in these free courses that people take for granted. Following other people, reading the books, attending the webinars and the seminars. People are giving free information. People just take it for granted. And during the course of those things, I started implementing different things. You start off maybe with a lead magnet, right? And honestly, start off with the people you know. A lot of them are going to be a waste of time and you're going to get rid of them later on. But for now, start with your friends in your circle. You start there. Then you venture out and do the simple things like the lead magnet. And that's just basically whatever your expertise on, making it in maybe a one pager, two pager is something simple that I think we make it into a big deal. But in the beginning, it could be sending out emails. When you get next level, it could be investing in a funnel. Start small. Give somebody something, just like you see the other people doing it and giving you free classes. You can do the same thing. And it's going to be a lot of trial and error. My goodness, the money I spend, I could have purchased two houses right now. But I understand that is an investment in myself, and I ain't gonna lie. I from when I started speaking, it's maybe 8 years now. So when you see those people doing amazing things, it didn't start like last month. Okay, I know who believe in God or whatever, but when Jesus was 12 years old and he was among all the people, you didn't hear anything about him from 12 to 30. What was he doing? He was learning, he was studying, he was working, and it's until he about 30 that's when he started his ministry. So if that is Jesus, it's you.
You you have a give now. I think a part of your and I want the audience to get this. A part of your style, the humor, the wit, and all that. You've incorporated that into your personal brand. But if on the surface it's like, oh, she's fun, but there's real substance there. When you were developing, and I don't want to say this character because it's not a character, this is really who you are. When you were refining and developing before you hit the main stages, what did that look like? Because everybody looks at the finished product and they're saying, "Oh, how many tears did you cry?"
Yeah. I'm still crying some days. But you know what's funny? I encourage people, like I teach people your gift, your purpose, and your passion, right? And a lot of times you have to discover what your gift is. And sometimes, example for me, I didn't know what my gifts were because when I grew up, especially growing from Trinidad, your talents are singing, dancing. It's typically those are considered talents and your gifts. So it's sometimes someone else might be able to see that. People used to always say, "Oh, you're so funny," and I'm like, it's not intentional. I was just trying. Sometimes I'm just saying something. I'll be like, "Oh, hi," and I'm like, no, really, pass me the soap. Like, it's not that serious. But I think someone else discovered the gift. And with all the research and studying I've done and realizing how much humor, how much laughter it releases endorphins, the chemical, the connection, the painkiller, the pain reliever, the stress reducer. Me not knowing all these things and finding out these things, it makes sense. Like even the job I had before, the customers would come in all upset about whatever situation, and by the time they leave in, they were like, "I needed that. Oh my God, I so appreciate it." It's from night to day. And when someone discovered that in me, and then now you're more conscious of it, then you can start to mold it. And again, it's my gift, and now I can own my gift, and I could put the gift in to whatever I choose to put it in. And I've put it in the TV show, the speaking, the books, and people grasp onto it more. You ever think when you put the TV on and someone's like, "Hi, my name is Miss Francois, and today," and you're like, "Next." And remember, we have hundreds of channels. This is not like Trinidad when we had one station and then we had two, right? So this is America. This is the world is so much smaller. No one wants to do that. Think about it. It's mostly negative news gets attention, right? But even when I started my shows, I would start humor. So when someone says, I'm gonna like say tell a joke and it goes straight into the joke, you're like, let me get this person an extra 7 seconds to see what they gotta say. And when someone makes you laugh, you remember more. So me naturally having a gift and then learning how to utilize my gifts, Voila.
You've been able to do this for a living now. Like you said like your previous job, but now this is what you do. This is who you are. This is
Don't get crazy. I still have a job, which I like my job, right? I one of them stupid people that I'm gonna tell you people, girl, plan A, focus on plan A, and fall all, and then you sleeping in your car for like 3 years. You're not Steve Harvey, okay? Steve Harvey was able to come out his car. It have like 10,000 other people still sleeping in their car. Never be stupid, people, okay?
so
Have your plan A.
yeah. So talk about that then. How do you balance the two, being an entrepreneur
Okay. There
and
were times when I had many ups and downs, but check me. Hopefully, my job never hears this. But you whatever work you're doing, guess what? That you can use that, and it could be the simplest thing. Maybe you're at a computer. Maybe you could type some of your stuff there. Maybe you could print some of your stuff there. Maybe you could use some paper clips, some sticky notes, whatever job you have. Like my job, I do a lot of community stuff also. It helps me to meet a lot of people, and it helps my job, and it helps what I'm doing at the same time. So you sometimes you can mix them. People like to complain about their job. I'm one person. I like my job. I don't love my job, but I like my job a lot. I love my customers, right? But I've utilized so many things that has helped me growing in my job and helped me growing in some of the things that I'm doing now. Like recently, I was thinking, I'm thinking about starting to want to leave my job, and that would be a hard transition because I'm one of those like your grandparents, like your daddy, been at my job for 26 years. Yes, I age backwards. I don't know. It's good genes. But even though I've been there that long, I do like what I do. So I'm not one of those angry employees that don't like what they do and I need to get out of here. And if you're one of those people, the problem is not your job. Your problem is you.
when looking at the landscape that we're in right now, we have AI happening, we have all these things. What is how has your message changed? When you turn on the news, everything is negative. Turn on like the conversations, people are afraid of inflation and all this stuff happening. How has your message resonated with what's happening today?
Okay, you trying to get me to say something else. Dude, my message don't have to change. First of all, the stuff that you said is you keep turning on stuff, right? You keep
Turn it
looking at
off.
stuff. Then you putting yourself in conversation for negativity, right? We say all these bad things are happening now. No, I'm not saying to ignore it, but are you standing in line for water or food yet? Are
No.
you? No, you could put on a computer. You could go buy a book. I always say, even when we had times as COVID, I'm not saying COVID COVID was a real thing. However, your experience was, right? But people forget, right? 100 years ago, things were 10 times worse and they survived. See, you have way more things now. Is what you choose to focus on. Things gonna come and pass. If you don't like the person in office, that time gonna come and pass. It might have a war. That's gonna come and pass. Then you die. And then the kids, it's still a cycle. You choosing to focus on some of the things you can change. How much time do you hear those types of saying, right? Focus on the things that you can and make a difference there. But you're gonna sit down, complain, call somebody to complain, then talk to somebody to complain. And what have you changed? I always tell people that's how I have some exes. If you're not gonna decide to make the change, get together where change can be made. Shut the hell up.
Well, you can't just throw out that that's why I have some exes like that. You just
I'm just saying. Coming to try to tell me. Don't try to tell me nothing. You because I remember I had this one ex, he's like, yeah, they should do this. Yeah. But you sitting down home watching TV and sports. You're not even out there picketing. But like you gotta be intentional about whatever you're talking about and whatever you're deciding to do. It's just like when we have goals. I want to win the lottery. Have you played a scratch off? How you put numbers? The simple. No. So how you winning the lottery? Some action needs to be taken.
you're going on podcasts, you're spreading your message out, you're talking. What is your goal? Let the people know what are your intentions. Why are you having these conversations? Why are you bringing smiles to faces? What do you what do you what do you want to do?
Well, it's so simple. I just want people to be their best self, and that
Mm.
could continue to change. You know, you hear people say, be who you are." First of all, that sounds easy. Be yourself. That sounds easy, but then when you walk into corporate, you're like, "Hi, everyone," and you can't be yourself, can you? Now,
No, you
so
can't.
make adjustments as you go along, but that doesn't mean you can't be your full self. But I always say find places and people where you can be yourself. Because maybe if you're in a bank, maybe you can't be your full self at your bank, but maybe find a space where you can be. But at the end of the day, I just want people to love themselves more, right? Like a lot of people used to say, "Oh, you're a relationship coach." I said, "What? I ain't even got no man." So I am not here to sugarcoat nothing. I'm not here to cuddle you and hug you. I'm here to make you pause, reflect on the dumb shit you've done in your past, and let's try to do better. Right? So I always go, I'm not for everyone. But if you're really ready to make some adjustment, I'm the one for you. There's people who like Joel Osteen, and I love me some Joel Osteen, but Joel Osteen be like, come here, I'll hug you, and let's go to God. Right? And then that person is sinning 10 times every day. But sometimes you need a TD Jakes to shake you and be like, let me tell you, you're stupid. But I'm just here hoping and believing that you make the right decisions for you to be your best self, but do it with a smile.
How much does your culture influence your personality?
Oh my
Because
God. Boy, don't let me go in the full accent now, When I look back at my upbringing, woo, that was a lot of trauma. Caribbean parents are evil, okay? Yeah, you can't. If you sleep too long is a problem. You get up too early is a problem. If you ask them, if you're hungry is a problem. It's trauma and abuse. If I go into some stories, my parents should be locked up, but I love them still because there's only one I have, and that's two people you can't necessarily replace. But it has done a lot. If you look up anybody from the Kevin Hart, all the people that do comedy, trauma is they found the outlet, right? So they don't go honestly commit suicide or kill somebody else because it's a lot of trauma. So even though we look back and many times we might, if I had, I wish I had, we obviously can't go back in the past, right? But what can we take from that, bring it to the now, and make it a positive? So I am grateful to an extent, oh Lord, to an extent of my upbringing, of my culture. Trinidadians, we just say whatever, and we mind Caribbean people like, hey, you're pregnant? Right? Sometimes when I think and I'm around my Caribbean people, I think we don't think. Like I tell people, my brain don't reach my mouth in time. And by the time I already say whatever. And people are like, oh my God. So people say, oh, people, you're so authentic. And I'm like, what? I'm like, I just say what's out there. That, yes, he fat. Or your body shaming. So is he 300 pounds? He is fat. But I'm the bad one, right? Look, again, not for everyone, but yes, my culture, my Trini little spice. I put the little spice and the little excitement over everything. So I am grateful for my culture. Because I came up here when I was 17, so I was already raised for most part of my life. America kind of give you a little punch in the jaw and a little bleed nose, but I adjusted and I'm here now. So embrace every aspect of your life.
Well, there you have it, everybody. The one and only Miss Francois. Listen, we don't ask you for cash apps, Venmos, or any of those things. Again, I have to say it because I'm not knocking people that do. What we do ask is that you support our guests. All of her information is in the comment section, not the comment section, in the description. Um, support our guests because that helps them to move forward in their goals and it helps you become a part of their fabric. But not only that, we ask that you hit like, subscribe, and if you're on a platform that you can leave a comment. It helps these conversations get heard by many others. Go to our website. Oh, walkinvictory.me. Our book is coming out, Awakening I Am. I'm so excited about this project, and we have other projects that are coming in, that are coming in, that are coming out for you. We just had some very exciting meetings. It's fall time. Everybody wants to get to the money. I don't never stop working because I just I'm a workaholic. Don't walk with your head down. Don't walk making excuses. We together walk in victory. Miss Francois is now part of the Walk in Victory family. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.
Guys.